Jedi Initiate. The journey for every Jedi began as an initiate, more commonly known as a youngling. These were Force-sensitive children found across the galaxy and brought to a Jedi temple, usually the one on Coruscant, to begin their formal training. After being separated from their families, they were placed into clans and taught the basic principles of the Force and the Jedi Code by seasoned masters. A crucial step in their early education was a rite of passage called the Gathering. This involved traveling to a sacred planet like Elam to find a kyber crystal that resonated with them, which would become the heart of their first lightsaber. After years of this foundational learning, which varied in length depending on the youngling's species and maturity, they would face the initiate trials. These tests were designed to show their readiness to move on and gave Jedi Knights and Masters a chance to see their skills, potentially selecting one to be their personal apprentice, or Padawan. Jedi Padawan. Once an initiate was chosen by a Jedi Knight or Master, they earned the rank of Padawan. This marked the shift from classroom learning to a one-on-one apprenticeship, often taking place far from the safety of the temple. Padawans would accompany their masters on missions across the galaxy, learning through direct experience in often dangerous situations. A distinct tradition for many Padawans was the wearing of a long braid of hair, which symbolized their apprentice status. For species without hair, other markers like specific jewelry or tattoos were used instead. A knight or master was only permitted to train one Padawan at a time, and they could not take on a new apprentice until their current one had successfully been promoted to the rank of Jedi Knight. This master-apprentice bond was one of the most important relationships in a Jedi's life, forming the basis for all their future development. Jedi Knight. After years of dedicated training, a Padawan deemed ready by their master could attempt the Jedi trials. These 5 tests were administered by the Jedi High Council to determine if an apprentice had the skill and discipline to become a full-fledged Jedi Knight. The trial of skill tested their combat prowess and lightsaber technique. The trial of courage pushed them to face their fears, often in a real or simulated battle against a powerful foe. The trial of the flesh was a brutal test of endurance, requiring the Padawan to overcome intense physical pain or a great loss. The trial of spirit forced an apprentice to confront the darkness within themselves, a deeply personal and often traumatic journey of self-discovery. Finally, the trial of insight challenged their ability to perceive the truth through the Force, separating illusion from reality. If a Padawan successfully passed all 5 trials, their master would sever their Padawan braid in a formal ceremony, and they would rise to the rank of Jedi Knight. As Knights, they formed the backbone of the Jedi Order, undertaking missions assigned by the Council to protect peace and justice throughout the Republic. Jedi Master, a Jedi Knight who showed extraordinary wisdom, a profound connection to the Force, and had successfully trained several Padawans to knighthood, could be granted the rank of Jedi Master by the High Council. This was not a position one could simply ask for. It had to be earned through decades of service and devotion. The rank of Master came with significant responsibilities and privileges, including access to the most restricted sections of the Jedi archives. These vaults contained powerful and dangerous knowledge, including ancient Sith holocrons and artifacts, which were kept under lock and key for the safety of the Order. Being a Master was a symbol of having achieved true balance and control in the Force, and was a prerequisite for nearly all of the Order's highest leadership positions. The Jedi High Council. At the very top of the Jedi Order's leadership structure was the Jedi High Council. This governing body was composed of 12 of the wisest and most powerful Jedi Masters, who were chosen to guide the entire Order. They also served as a critical advisory group to the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. The Council met in a high chamber atop the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to discuss missions, interpret the will of the Force, and make decisions that affected the entire galaxy. Membership on the Council was structured with 5 lifetime members, 4 long-term members, and 3 limited-term members, ensuring a mix of consistent leadership and fresh perspectives. Master of the Order. From among the 12 members of the High Council, one was elected to serve as the Master of the Order. This individual was the appointed leader of the Council, responsible for chairing their meetings and acting as the primary spokesperson for the Jedi leadership. During the years leading up to and including the Clone Wars, this title was held by Mace Windu. He eventually stepped down to take a more direct role in the war effort, at which point Yoda, who was already the Grandmaster, took up the title of Master of the Order as well. Jedi Grandmaster. The title of Jedi Grandmaster was reserved for a single individual recognized as the wisest and most powerful Jedi in the entire Order. This was the undisputed head of all Jedi. For centuries leading up to the fall of the Republic, this venerable position was held by Master Yoda. His wisdom, gained over nearly 900 years of life, was considered unmatched, and his guidance was sought by every member of the Order, from the youngest initiate to the most senior members of the High Council. Jedi military ranks. During the Clone Wars, the Jedi took on military roles within the Grand Army of the Republic. Jedi Padawans often served with the rank of Jedi Commander, leading smaller units like regiments and holding authority over clone officers. Jedi Knights and Masters held the rank of Jedi General, commanding much larger forces such as legions or entire corps. There were even higher, less common ranks. A senior Jedi General commanded one of 20 sector armies. Above them, a High Jedi General, a rank achievable only by a sitting council member, took command of one of 10 system armies, each made up of 2 sector armies. Jedi Battle Master. The Jedi Battle Master was the title given to the Order's foremost lightsaber combat instructor. Appointed by the High Council, this master martial artist was responsible for overseeing all aspects of lightsaber training at the Jedi Academy. They not only taught the most advanced students, but also selected and trained other Jedi to become lightsaber instructors themselves. During the Clone Wars, this important position was held by Master Sindralig. Jedi Guardian. Once a Jedi became a Knight, they could choose to focus their skills in one of 3 specialized branches. The first was the Jedi Guardian. Guardians were the warriors and protectors of the Order, focusing their training on martial arts and lightsaber combat. They took an active role in fighting against the dark side and threats to the Republic, and often wielded blue-bladed lightsabers. Within the Guardian branch were several subspecializations. Aces were expert pilots who treated their starfighters as an extension of themselves. Lightsaber instructors were dedicated to passing on their combat skills to the next generation. Peacekeepers acted as a specialized police force assisting local law enforcement. Weapon Masters became experts in using exotic weapons beyond the standard lightsaber. Finally, Warrior Masters were the absolute pinnacle of the Guardian path, having achieved complete mastery of combat. Jedi Consular. The second branch was the Jedi Consular. These Jedi focused less on physical combat and more on diplomacy, scholarship, and mastery of the Force itself. They sought to win battles with words before ever drawing their green-bladed lightsabers. This path also had many specialized roles. Ambassadors and diplomats worked closely with the Republic Senate to negotiate treaties and bring new worlds into the Republic. Healers used their connection to the living Force to mend wounds and cure sickness. Lorekeepers, like the Chief Librarian, were the dedicated archivists and historians of the Order, preserving knowledge in the Jedi archives. Researchers specialized in scientific fields like archaeology or biology to expand the Order's understanding of the galaxy. Seers were Jedi with a gift for seeing the future, with the most powerful among them known as prophets. The highest rank for a consular was Sage Master, reserved for those who had achieved the deepest understanding of the Force. Jedi Sentinel. The third and rarest branch was the Jedi Sentinel. Sentinels sought a balance between the martial focus of the Guardians and the scholarly pursuits of the consulars. They often operated independently, blending a wide range of skills to tackle problems that required more than just combat or negotiation. Often wielding yellow-bladed lightsabers, they were the Order's spies, technicians, and scouts. Their subspecializations were highly skilled. Investigators were tasked by the Council to uncover hidden threats like crime syndicates or political corruption. Recruiters used these investigative skills to find Force-sensitive children throughout the galaxy. Shadows were the Order's secret police, tasked with hunting down and destroying all traces of the dark side. Temple Guards were anonymous sentinels who served as the security force for the Jedi Temple, wielding distinctive double-bladed yellow lightsaber pikes. Finally, Watchmen were assigned to oversee a specific planet or sector, becoming experts in its culture to protect it from the shadows. Other Jedi roles, beyond the main ranks and branches, there were other specific roles within the Order. The Jedi Temple had its own dedicated security force, which included the Gate Master, a peacekeeper tasked with guarding the temple's main entrances. Jedi snipers were stationed on the temple's spires, using the Force to guide their lightsabers for incredibly precise, long-range strikes. Jedi Brutes were heavily built Jedi who served as the first line of defense against any direct assault on the temple. For initiates who did not pass their trials to become Padawans, there was the Jedi Service Corps. This allowed them to still serve the Republic in one of 4 branches: the Agricultural Corps, the Medical Corps, the Educational Corps, or the Exploration Corps. Lastly, the Council of First Knowledge, made up of 5 Jedi, oversaw the Temple Academy and its curriculum, a position led by the Caretaker of First Knowledge. But that's every single Jedi rank and specialization. Which is your favorite, and which specialization would you choose to pursue as a Jedi Knight? Let us know down in the comments.